Hi everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video tutorial of the pop-up card called Cupboard Love. We're now going to show you a few extras that you can do to change the card to fit whatever occasion you need the card for. Here is one I made earlier, and this one is going to be the kitchen version. So again, I have just made the basic cupboard shape. Right, this one I have made 5 centimeters deep instead of 4, so we have got 9 centimeters up the front, 4 across the top, 9, 4. Again, it makes just a basic box shape, and that will flatten down when the card is closed. I've done it out of a green glossy card so that your range is nice and polished. I've put, instead of drawers, I've done 3 little squares, right, one slightly bigger, and again they've got brads on, and to give it a bit more contrast I've put a tiny little mat of black around it. I've put an extra piece along the bottom that looks like a plinth that the cooker is standing on, and on the top I've just done a rectangle and a circle which I've punched out to look like the hot plates on the top. On the background you can just see I've used pearlized card, and I've scored it 1 centimetre intervals all across and then 1 centimetre down, so it gives me this nice tiled effect. These were just little charms that I had in my box, and I could have added the Robert Adams kitchen tools, which would have given me saucepans and things to hang on the wall. So that is another version. Okay. The next one we're going to have a look at has got this lovely sewing machine. Guess what's inside? It's going to be my craft room. I've used a paper on here that looks a bit like it's quilted. My die cut sewing machine and a simple matten layer around the outside. When we open it, here is the basic cupboard. Right, it's smaller than we did. I think it's 7.5 by 4, so all the way around. I've done smaller drawers, and on here, so that the sewing machine stands out, I think this was a tattered lace sewing machine, die cut. It's actually put onto a small box of acetate. So if I turn it round, it's difficult to see acetate, but you can see I've done this rectangular box, and that's standing the sewing machine out from the wall. Okay. I carried on, I had a little charm of a pair of scissors that I've added on here, and I've made a carpet from the background paper so it all matches in. Now if you have a look at here, I've put some bolts of fabric on here, and if we look sideways you can tell that they are simply little boxes as well. They're only fitted at the back and underneath so that the card will completely go flat when you've done it. There are lots and lots of things that you could have added to this, and you could have bits of fabric coming out the drawers, so many things. I did try and get a little cross stitch design, but I haven't put it on the back wall yet. I did tell you at the beginning of the video that it didn't matter what size card you used. Right, the principle is the same. This one I've gone for an A5 card. I've used the box shape to do the cupboard there. Again, we've got three drawers, and this was just little die cuts that I had in the centre of a die, and I could have used little bits from a doily as well. This was a topper from Pollyanna Pickering, and I've just used a square punch to punch out 2 elements of it, so I got matching pictures. This was a die cut by Tonic, I believe, and it was for a drawer front, and I've never used it. So it seemed the obvious thing when I looked through my dies that that would make a lovely headboard. The bed, if I turn it sideways, you can see is just another box effect. Alright, the thing that you need to remember when you're doing this is that the length of the bed plus the wall upwards mustn't be more than the length of your card, because when you close the card you don't want the bed sticking out from the side. So this was 15 centimetres, right? The bed was 12.5 and this was 1.5. So we've got 14 centimetres, which when we close it I've got a centimetre gap that it's not protruding from. Okay, so there we have that one. I've added on the front 2 little girls playing, it's a little girl's bedroom, some decoupage flowers which I've spread out, and I've used some of them inside. So a really lovely card. Oh, and of course the little pussycat. He was just a 3D sticker that just seemed to go nicely in the room. Right. Lastly, we have the nursery. This one again is an A5 card. This was tattered lace gates, and I've die cut 2 bits, and I've taken off the fancy bit across the top, and I've taken off the gate pillars from the side. On the back I have just stuck it straight onto the back piece. Right. Then we've made the simple box shape, which is the pop-up, and the secret behind the front part of the cot is it's on acetate. So nobody's going to know it's there, but it's going to give you the strength that you need to hold that up. Simple cupboard effect, and I've used matching drawers this time. This again was another die cut, and it was double that size. I've cut it in half, and the piece that dropped out the centre of the die cut I've cut again in mirror board and just put it back in where the hole was. So very simple techniques that you can use to make your room come to life. On the bedding I've just folded a piece of pearlised card and punched down the edge so that I've got a little pillow, and this was just a piece of very tiny design that I printed out that looks like a quilt, and I've just folded 1.5 centimetres over and punched it. So this is actually not a separate piece, it's the back of the design. Taken the design as well and cut out a little shape for a rug, and also I've done a little dress freehand, and this little bit that is the hanger was in fact the little bit that came off here. So when I took the mirror effect off, it left me with a filigree that I've just used as a hanger. Okay, then I had some little die cuts, little 3D die cuts, and we've got Teddy sitting on top of here, and Teddy in another Teddy in the cot. So all ready for that lovely new baby card, or indeed for a little older toddler. Okay, thank you for watching, and I'm sure we're going to have lots more ideas to show you in the future.